organization focuses on music education. For the grant with WHRO, we're focused on working with kids at Hampton University to train them up on live video and audio production. And we run a ska and reggae music festival, so we're working on, we bring artists from the 1950s, 1960s in from the past, and we work with kids that are, in their teens and 20s, and building that future that we want.
What I did for the Supernova Ska Festival is I did mostly camera work to record the artists on the stage. What I learned from the Supernova Ska Festival was how professionals operate in real time, because I know I don't really get much experience outside of campus. Also, that I have the mental fortitude of, if anything goes wrong, knowing how to fix it, in a quick fashion to make sure the show goes on.
At the Supernova Ska Festival, I was working on the camera on the left, and I briefly shadowed the sound guy. I learned about what adaptability means in real time. When it comes to planning out what is happening next on the stage, you have to be on top of it. The difference between a couple singers on stage versus 8 horns, 2 singers, a drummer, and how quickly you need to prepare for that sort of thing in between sets. And also what it takes to troubleshoot really fast. While I was shadowing Josh on one of the channels, he wasn't able to get to it with the button. And so he was trying to reroute it and going through all the simplest steps possible before jumping to the major conclusions. He worked out that he was just gonna have to turn the board on and off. Something as simple as that is really all it takes to fix a problem. And you just have to keep yourself calm and able to get there.
I did camera work. I worked mostly on the center camera and the left side, as well as I was on the board to tell which camera to switch for the stream. They had streaming services, so telling the cameras what to switch to on the board so the people who were watching saw each angle. The pace is different compared to inside studio where everything is more laid back. When working with live sound, everything is at a faster pace and things can change at an instant, as well as the climate. It was very cold at night. I had to get used to that, as well as the darkness. You have to change the settings on the camera at a speed so everything just moves smoothly.
My students got involved once I reached out to the promoter, Tim, of the festival. I saw where he put out an advertisement about the Ska Festival and they were looking for volunteers. And I saw that advertisement because I'm from Hampton and I'm well connected in all the social media content. So I reached out to him and he said he would love to have some students, since we're audio engineering program, come out and assist. We would help with the sound and the video, that sort of stuff, and the live stream and stuff. And we went out and the kids had a good time. I think I only had about 3 or 4 the first time we went. And this year we had about 8 to 10. Tim had written a grant and we went out there and exposed them to what a real life production is like, because the Ska Festival is a huge festival and we don't change the way we do things between that festival and say a Beyonce concert. Everything's still technically done the same way. Call times, production notes, post-production, pre-production things, the way we run our cables, the signals that we look for, nothing changes just because it's a smaller, I'll use that quote, smaller type festival. It's not Beyonce with 40,000 fans. It's a festival with 4,000 to 5,000 fans, but nothing changed. So I wanted them to have that experience so they could see if you could do it here, you could do it on a bigger stage, like the Super Bowl. So being exposed to the Ska Festival culturally for the students, I was hoping would expand their musical vocabulary so they would understand more about the expressions of people and not a narrow view of the expressions that people have. So I come from the ethnomusicology point of view, which is the study of music through one's culture. So if you really want to understand the music, you have to understand the culture of the people, because culture reflects music. Music doesn't create culture. So I wanted them to understand that and expose them to a larger vocabulary of types of music and people and expression so that they can maybe take some of those ideas and bring them back to genres that they do like. That's what allows music to grow. Otherwise we stay stagnant and new ideas don't come in, we don't go anywhere. I know don't know nothing. I wanted to be part of the Ska Festival so they could be exposed to different cultures of people and expressions, and explain to them what they would be hearing, what they would be seeing from this culture of people, and to understand what the music was about, so listen to the message of the songs, and it was really their anthems in a lot of ways. It's a lot of protest music, but there's also a lot of peace and love and happiness, and the end of wars around the world kind of feeling. So I wanted them to make sure they heard these kind of messages, because they don't get those kind of messages in today's music in the top 100 scenes anyway. So that was that.